Hello, Craig. Thank you so much for including your post here. I think this carbon budget. I think this is an excellent infographic. The second one, I got to tell you, I'm not getting a whole lot of information on this. Remember, an infographic should tell a story, and it should also have a predefined path for which the viewer to peruse through the actual infographic. And I think this one does, definitely. It's got connected with with this timeline. It's got definite subcategories, and within those subcategories, we've got even further delineations where we've got information presented in addition with graphics. So I think this is an excellent infographic. This one I'm not so crazy about. I honestly, I wouldn't even categorize this as infographic. It's just not giving a whole lot of information. Um, Now, what I do, I want to talk about this one, and this one is, I think it's relevant to this conversation because it's got a couple of things that I want to address. Number one, is now in week one and week two resources, we have learned a few different attributes for successful infographics, and two of those are, one is that it provides a new angle, which this does. I think this is really fantastic, and the other one is does it provide practical value? So as far as providing a new angle, this does, and you allude to this a little bit in your writing, and you say that using the actual photographs or these kind of ultra realism these are definitely, looks like they're photographs. Um, Hard to say though. They're definitely enhanced. So they're graphics that are generated via computer using photographs. So what they are not are illustrations, and we're used to seeing illustrations in infographics, right? So I think this is relevant to this discussion because it very nicely illustrates the fact that we don't need to use illustrations in infographics. We can use other graphics, more compelling graphics. We can even use photographs. So I think that's an interesting point. Now, that brings me to my next attribute of effective infographics being practical value. And I think this falls short in practical value. I do. I've been looking at this for a while. I still don't know what it's about. Okay, it's attractive, absolutely. But so we've got this land bank 70,000 HA. What is that? It doesn't explain it anywhere. We've got 12,000 M squared agricultural premises. Again, no clue what that means. 13,000 agricultural technical units. Again, just lost as to what this means. So and then over here, we just got some close-ups of what we see here. So how is this relevant to the overall infographic? You see what I'm saying? This seems to be redundant information in which you don't want to do in infographics. You want to be as specific and concise as possible. We come down here again, we've got 10855, so we have 10,855. Area HA, again, what is that? And then there's no comma here, so we don't know, is this 69 and 265, or is it 69,265? It's very difficult. Then it says gross gathering per ton annum, 3% legumes. Again, and I don't mean to sound discouraging, I'm just really lost with this infographic. So my question for you is, what can you do to this infographic? If you were given this infographic and I was your art director and I gave you that scenario of issues with the infographic and I said, clean this up, clear it up, make it very obvious as to what it's about, let me know what you would do. Let me know exactly what you would do to take this and give it practical value so that the viewer can, after leaving this infographic, has information they can apply into, let's think about it like this. After looking at this infographic, what can you say about it? Can you talk intelligently about agriculture in general? And what can you do? And an infographic, a measure of an infographic, very simply is that. You look at the infographic, what can you say as a layperson about the topic at hand? And I think right down here, after looking at this infographic, we can definitely tell many different things that we can talk about intelligently. But over here, my question, and again, the question I'd like you to address in your response is, what can we do to this infographic to give it a higher degree of practical value? Okay, great job. Thank you so much for contributing to our discussion board, and I am looking forward to seeing your response. Thanks, Craig.